What if healing isn't what you think it is? What if the path you've been walking to fix yourself was built by the very thing that broke you? We're taught that healing means mending, repairing, making whole what was shattered. But what if wholeness doesn't come from repair? What if it comes from replacement? The truth is unsettling, because it means parts of you might not be worth saving, not because you're broken beyond repair, but because those parts were never really you. To begin with, they were installed, programmed, imposed, and when something artificial breaks, it's not a tragedy. It's a chance to remove it and return to what's real. This is not about fixing what hurt you. It's about replacing what was never yours. You've been told to fix your trauma, heal your inner wounds, make peace with your past. But let's pause. Who told you that, and what if the very framework of healing you're using is built on the blueprint of your damage? We try to fix ourselves with the same thinking that broke us, the same self-image, the same relationships, the same culture. It's like trying to repair poisoned soil by planting the same seeds over and over. No wonder nothing grows. Fixing implies something used to work properly. But what if your version of normal was always distorted? Maybe the system that broke you, the family dynamic, the belief system, the cultural narrative, was never healthy to begin with. And now you're trying to heal by fitting back into it. That's not healing, that's surrendering. Sometimes you don't need to patch the wound. You need to remove the knife. There's something few talk about. Sometimes we fall in love with our wounds. We build an identity around what hurt us. The abused become survivors. The neglected become independent. The abandoned become strong. And while those labels may offer pride, they can also become prisons, because the pain becomes familiar, predictable, safe. We don't just carry our wounds, dice, we become them. This is why some people fear healing. Deep down they know that if the pain disappears, so does the self they've known. Who am I without my anger? Who am I without my scars? That's why healing can feel like dying, because it is a death of the false self. But death is not the end. It's the space in which the real you can finally emerge. Not the version shaped by pain, but the version that was buried beneath it. Many people want to get back to who they used to be, before the trauma, before the betrayal, before the breakdown. But let's be honest, that version of you wasn't free either. That version walked straight into what hurt you. That version allowed the damage, not because you were weak, but because you didn't know better. So why would you want to return to that? The truth is, healing is not a return. It's an evolution. You're not supposed to go back. You're supposed to become someone who would never let it happen again. Someone who sees clearly now. Someone who doesn't need to be fixed because they've replaced the lie with something unbreakable. There's a darker side to this story. There are entire industries built on your pain. Self-help, therapy, pharmaceuticals, wellness influencers, spiritual coaches. Some of them help. Many of them don't. Because if they truly helped you heal, they'd be out of business. So they give you just enough relief to keep you coming back, but not enough to make you free. You become a lifelong patient, a forever student, a permanent work in progress. That's not healing, that's dependency. True healing doesn't make you loyal to a system, it makes you free from it. And freedom often comes not from learning something new, but from unlearning everything false. Replacing the belief that you're broken with the realization that you were conditioned to believe that, and walking away. There's a difference between covering a wound and removing the infection. You can meditate, journal, take cold showers, read spiritual texts, but if you're still operating from the same broken programming, nothing changes. Sometimes healing doesn't mean doing more. It means walking away from people who don't respect you, from beliefs that make you feel small, from systems that reduce you to a number, a label, a diagnosis. You don't need better coping skills. You need a better environment. Healing happens when you stop trying to fit in and start building a life that fits you, not the old you, the real one, the one that was buried underneath the Tohain, waiting for you to stop fixing and start replacing. Here's a strange truth. Your pain was useful, not because you deserved it, but because it pointed toward what needed to change. Pain is a messenger. It tells you where something is misaligned, where you're living a lie, where you've abandoned yourself to be accepted by others. But once the message is received, you don't need to hold on to the pain. It's the map, not the home. You don't carry a burning torch forever. You use it to find the path, then you drop it and walk. Let go of what hurt you, not by forgetting it, but by realizing it no longer defines you. You're not what happened to you. You're what you choose to become after. Imagine a version of yourself untouched by fear, untouched by shame, untouched by the need to prove, to explain, to earn love. This version isn't a fantasy. It's who you were before the world started shaping you into someone else, not a return to innocence, but a rise into truth. You don't need to fix what was broken, because that version isn't coming with you. You are becoming something new, not by force, but by shedding everything false. You're not healing to become who you were. You're healing to become who you really are and who you are. What if I told you? Healing isn't about becoming whole again. It's about realizing you were never whole to begin with. We're taught that healing means fixing ourselves, that if something broke us, we must go back and glue the pieces together, return to who we were before the pain. But what if that version of you, the one that got broken, was already a fragile mask, already built from fear, from survival, from wounds you never knew you were carrying? You can't return to something that was never real. This is the first lie we must let go of, that the goal is to fix what's broken, because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is not fix the old, but build something entirely new. Most of who we think we are isn't who we truly are. It's who we had to become. As children, we adapt. We become what keeps us safe, quiet, pleasing, invisible. We learn to smile through pain, to achieve for love, to shrink for acceptance. We build personalities out of protection. We wear masks so well, we forget there's a face underneath. Psychologists call it the false self. Jung called it the persona. Spiritual teachers call it the ego. And here's the hard truth. Most people spend their lives trying to fix a mask. They go to therapy, read books, meditate, all to polish a version of themselves that was never meant to last. You weren't born to maintain a false identity. You were born to shed it. You don't need to fix who you became to survive. You need to remember who you were before you forgot yourself. Destruction is sacred, and pain is a portal. When your world shatters, don't rush to sweep up the pieces. Let them fall. Let the fire burn through everything that isn't true. Shiva destroys so creation can begin. The phoenix doesn't repair itself. It dies, so it can rise anew. Your breakdown is not a failure. It's an initiation. This is the sacred alchemy. What breaks you also burns away everything that no longer serves. The dark night of the soul is not a detour. It's the path. It strips away illusions, attachments, masks. It forces you to look at yourself without the stories, without the noise. And in that silence, something new begins to emerge. Not a better version of the old you, but something else entirely. Something more honest, more whole, more you. So if the false self breaks, what remains? What lies underneath? The mask you've worn for so long? This is the question the mystics asked. Who are you, without your name, your past, your pain? The Sufis said you are the drop returning to the ocean. The Upanishads said your essence is eternal, unborn, untouched, unchanging. Even Kierkegaard spoke of the self as something you must become, not through effort, but through surrender. Because the truth is, you don't become yourself by building. You become yourself by letting go. You are not your story. You are the silence beneath it. You are not the broken self trying to be whole. You are the awareness that was never broken to begin with. Here is the truth that changes everything. You don't heal by rebuilding the same house. You build a new one, with stronger foundations, wider windows, and walls that no longer keep you small. You don't need to return to who you were. You get to become who you were meant to be. This is your power, self-authorship. You get to decide what values you live by now. You get to shape your mind, your spirit, your path, not as a reaction to pain, but as a declaration of freedom. Nietzsche called it becoming who you are, not discovering, but choosing. You are not a project. You are a creator. You do not have to carry what broke you. You can replace it with something true. Stop trying to fix the story they gave you, write a new one.